people will always talk. It's not even just about whether you're effeminate or soft-spoken. People have been dragged and insulted on the streets of Instagram and Twitter over the silliest things. But you have to be of a certain caliber and usefulness in my existence for your opinions to truly matter. We have people in various fields who are honestly being used and abused in the name of we're giving you a job offer as a creative. A lot of these bodies aren't necessarily fully equipped to actually make sure that we are paid what we are meant to be paid. That's what is meant to be for Caesar is being given to Caesar. And when it comes to showcasing the diversity of your skill set, and this is something I say to artists that I work with across board, never be afraid to shock them with something new.
The spark that turns silence to song, ideas to impact, dreams to drama, something ordinary to something unforgettable, where rhythm, voice, and vision clash and creates. Welcome to another episode of the Fifth Estate Live with yours truly, Hope Williams. And trust me, today is going to be mind blowing. This is because I have with me in the studio a one time winner of the Nigerian Idol. Yeah, the 2013 edition. And that is none other than drum rolls. Mr. You didn't have to look at me like that. Allow me to do my career and finish.
Fair enough, go on.
You see, he has spoiled the fun now. He has spoiled the fun. I was going to do, the drum rolls, like old cowboy movie. Doing, dun 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 dun.
I was thinking more like Terry G.
So you see why I say it's going to be an unforgettable episode, because I have with me in the studio someone who matches my energy. And you'll be like saying your energy self now. It's rated 1000. So I have with me Mr. Moses Obi. Like I said, one-time Nigerian Idol winner, and he's the creative director for TMA. You can check him out on Instagram. Trust me, he's a singer. He's an event curator, and he's many more. Basically, a creative. And of course, our conversation today will be around creativity. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, so show me that you're ready. Like and share this video and join the conversation in the comment section. So let's delve into the conversation.
All right.
So before we go deeper into this conversation, just take us through the journey a little. Like, why did you decide to come out of the university and decide to go for Nigerian Idol?
I'd always wanted to do a show like Idols. So sometime when I was like 8 or 9, I was home and I was watching one of the Idol seasons. I think it was South African Idols or American Idols. I can't remember. And week after week, I would sing along with the contestants on stage. Like I was singing along in my bedroom, and they'd be on stage on TV. And at some point in time, I started thinking to myself, you could do this,
So you took your time, you're learning the songs that you're singing. Guy.
No, I mean, everybody's doing songs that are popular. So you already know some of these songs because you've been listening to them on the radio or on TV. And I realized that I could do this. And I loved singing. Music has always been an integral part of my life since when I was a kid. Rumor has it that I've been singing since before I could speak English.
Before you could speak English?
Before I could speak actual English.
So what were you speaking before?
I was just the entire album. I had like a baby tambourine and I had a melody I created, and I would be in a corner singing the exact same melody, playing my baby tambourine, and I'd be happy and content. My parents tell this story a lot.
Oh, wow. I need to meet your parents. Yo, I need to meet your parents. We need receipts.
They will provide them. And so when the opportunity came around to audition for the show, I was just wrapping up with school. I just finished my final project, and I needed something new to do. I needed something different. I was in a terrible headspace at the time. And a friend of mine called me and said, "Oh, the Idols guys are in town and they're auditioning. Won't you go?" I'm like, "Okay, why not?
Let's do this.
Let's do this. Why not? Let's do it for the fun of it." Um, and that was the energy I had all through. It was always for the fun of it. I wanted to enjoy every minute of it. It was my second reality TV show. Before Nigerian Idols, I'd been on the top 10 for Ninja Sings.
Ninja
Yeah,
sense.
Glow Ninja Sings. Like an old music
Oh,
reality show. It got like John Oga, Casey Edelman, a couple of other people as winners. Um, so this was like my second reality TV show, my second competition. I was older, I was calmer, and I wasn't winning was fun. Winning was amazing. Being the person who won, absolutely beautiful. But while I was in the show, winning wasn't my focus. I just wanted to enjoy each week. I wanted to enjoy each performance. And the rest is history.
so when you're talking on a flip side, this is very, very unrelated. I just imagined you as a baby in one corner with your diaper and your baby tambourine and you're making
I was
melody.
adorable. I was an adorable baby.
Allow us just see until we meet your parents and get receipts. We will not be the judge of whether you are adorable or not. Let's be the judge of that.
Okay.
But guy, we need to meet your parents. Honestly. So I know that as kids we did a lot, but geez, making melodies.
I did. I did. Well, I don't know if the memory of the melody is from when I was a child, but they remember what the melody is.
Mm.
And I had that baby tambourine till I was maybe 7.
Oh wow.
I was in primary school when I can't remember if it got missing or if they made me gift it to somebody who just gave birth or something. But I had that tambourine for most of primary school. Like it was like a memento. It wasn't, something I was actually using,
Mm.
but it was like a bit of a memento for me. So yeah, valid receipts attached to this story.
Again, until we meet your parents. So, beyond music, beyond performing, because again, I took a stroll through your Instagram and I saw that you do karaoke once in a
Mm.
while. So, beyond music and beyond performing, what other creative aspect of you have we not
Uh,
seen?
have you not seen? There's a lot. You've probably seen it, but you probably didn't know it was me.
Mm,
Um, sorry. So generally through TAM Trauma, my company, we focus primarily on creative ideation and creative consultation, and we also delve into design and web development and content creation and production and stuff along those lines. So I like to think of myself beyond music as first and foremost an idea guy.
okay.
That's one way that my creative energy shows
So,
forth
a
itself.
walking creative encyclopedia.
Because it's literally about I was having a conversation a week ago and we were talking about the creative industry and what it's like, and I was trying to explain that at this point in time it's still largely unformed. There aren't like limiting specific roles that are
Mhm.
just affixed to being a creative. It's just about exploring the realms of your peculiar skill sets and seeing how you can apply that across board. So I'm good with ideas. I'm good with ideation and thinking outside the box. And so I bring that to the table. I then delved into design and web development and products management and the likes. So in various aspects like that, my creative energy has borne quite a lot of fruit. Through my company, we develop and dive into quite a number of musical events and platforms, even non-musical events and more commercial corporate type events. We've organized and hosted book launches, corporate openings and the likes, activations, media campaigns, publicity campaigns. We've
Oh,
dived all
that's
around,
quite a lot.
you know.
Your this your creative tree is like it's a garden.
It's a whole
It's
complete
a
orchard,
garden.
man.
You need to come and pluck
It's a
fruits.
lot. And it's because I feel like as creatives, we aren't just limited to one role.
Mm.
You sit here as a host, but then again, you could probably fill the shoes of a producer. You could probably also fill the shoes of a script writer, of a content developer. You could then expand that into copywriting and some sort of campaign ideation and management. There are so many ways that we can tap into and monetize our creative energy beyond just the obvious.
So I was tempted to say typical Igbo man when you said monetize. But I wanted to be sure. So you know, I wanted to be sure. You know, there's this drama between Akweya no be Igbo, Delta no be Igbo. So I wanted to
I'm
be
Igbo
sure.
and proudly Igbo.
Okay, so
Proudly
I can now
Delta
say
Igbo.
typical Igbo. All right, so let's talk creative industry. Yeah, you mentioned something about not being limited as a creative.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the creative industry itself. What are those challenges, or what do you think are the challenges that creatives in Nigeria, especially young creatives, face in Nigeria?
Somebody once said sometimes the village people in your story is just Nigeria as a whole. It's not.
If who call police for Igbo. What's this now?
No.
How will you carry the entire Nigeria and make it your
Sometimes
village
it's just the country as a whole that is just the village people in your story. But no, on a serious note, I think some of the major challenges we face, like I said earlier, one of the perks, but it's also on the downsides of the industry as it is right now, is that lack of fixed structure. You know, we in as much as we're limited in what we can do, it also means that there isn't a clear definition of what is meant to happen or how certain things are meant to be done or what processes or procedures are meant to be put into place. Let's look at you and I were having a conversation before we started shooting about like copyrights and infringements and the likes, and the fact that there are certain laws that we all know that are sort of written, but then again, what institutions or structures are there that we can actually say are built or created to actually enforce these laws? What structures are in place to make sure that to allow us as creatives to stand firm on these laws and to make sure that these laws are played out or that they are adhered to by the people we do business with? So a lot of those make it difficult sometimes for you to actually see tangible success as a creative. The fact that there isn't any sort of unionized backing for certain aspects of the creative industry. The fact that as a web developers in Nigeria these days, what is really yours and what is your client's? That's a very tricky question. Graphic designers, what is really yours? What is your client's? What are the limitations? We have people in various fields who are honestly being used and abused in the name of we're giving you a job offer as a creative. We have so many people also in the exact same breath who we can say aren't really doing much in the name of being creatives. But that lack of a structure is a blessing and a burden at the exact same time.
Okay, so we're going to definitely come back to this line of conversation, but let's go on a short break. While we're on that break, I need you to know that the Rhythm of Light had the Christopherian Jam event in Kaduna. So let's take some snippets from that event. Stay tuned.
This is Rhythm of Light International Reggae Festival. I will see let there be light in our nation. And let the earth rejoice. You know what? You have to link up with the festival.
Let it be light, let it be light, let it be light, let it be light. Let it be light, let it be light, let it be light, let it be light. In the new place of reggae, we go to church, we speak in tongues, we can feel the Holy Ghost.
Thank you for staying tuned, and I'm very sure you enjoyed that very beautiful rendition from our gospel reggae artist. For some of us, they're very holier than thou. Reggae is part of the gospel. Guy, listen to it, I beg. Before we give form Deputy Jesus and Assistant Holy Spirit. Because, no, seriously, I had a conversation with one of the Christopherian artists. She's an evangelist, but also a reggae singer. And she told us her story of how she was ashamed to identify as a reggae gospel artist. And this is because of the stereotype. And you see that it comes to play in even in the creative industry. We have stereotypes. For instance, there was a time when the likes of Messer Johnson, in Edo, Tonto Dike were seen in a certain light
Mm-hmm.
because of the roles they play in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
We have Kanayo Okanayo. Now everybody calls him Nai Sacrifice because of the role he plays in the movies. Sometime 2 years ago, Yul Edochie had to come out and say, now for only film, now they do ritual. Stop this, stop. And this is because we see them in that light
Mm-hmm.
due to the roles they play, right? So as someone who is in the creative industry, yeah, how do you deal with this? For instance, people know you as the guy who won the 2013 Nigeria Idol. So how did you deal with all of the drama
Mm.
that comes that comes with winning?
Um, that's a tough one. Because a part of me wants to go, oh, you can actually just blow by with, but stereotypes are real. Stereotypes will carry some sort of weight, and you have to be ready to bear that burden sometimes. But you have to decide as an individual and as a professional what is important and what is not. When it comes to showcasing the diversity of your skill set, and this is something I say to artists that I work with across board, never be afraid to shock them with something new. You know, like sometimes surprise them. Just
Just change,
give them the leg
change the
over.
routine.
Change them. just for the fun of it. Especially because, like you said, especially in certain aspects of the creative industry, you don't just want to be boxed in to one
corner.
particular perception. But in the exact same breath, sometimes it pays. Because then when you are able to develop a name for yourself in a particular peculiar niche, it's easier for you to get booked to do that. Once people recognize you for a particular thing, they are then more encouraged to do business with you on that particular basis. So it's yet again another thing that's a double-sided, double-edged sword.
Yeah, just like the laws, right?
You know, it can work for you, can work against you. Depends on how you are ready to play it, I guess.
So as a performer, yeah, as a performer, there's this major challenge we have in the creative industry, and that is the thing on copyrights. So we've seen the movie industry, the Nollywood, talk about piracy for a long time. I remember back then in primary school and secondary school, you buy a CD plate and you will see 20 in one, 10 in one, and they are complaining. People are spoiling business for us. But now we now see that almost every actor or actress has a YouTube page where they upload their movies. But sometime on Monday, actress Bimbo Ademoye came out and she called out Ghanaian TV stations and said they should stop airing her movies because it's a spoiling business for her. And a Ghanaian came on her and this lady has been dragging her. The lady was like the OGs before the IGs in the movie industry. I'm talking Kanayo Okanayo, Patient Uzoku and the likes, that they never complained about this. So who is she? Like, who is being bored that is coming to complain that Ghanaian TV stations are airing her content, right? Now, this is for a movie producer. So how about poets, script writers, artists? So, like, how do you create that? How do you identify what is yours and what is your client's?
Really, that's honestly the question. How do you separate what's yours from what's your client's? It's an ongoing battle, honestly, because the laws are there in a very large regard when it comes to protecting your rights as a creative or an artist in any facet of the industry, whether you're doing music, whether you're doing visual design or visual arts, whether you're an actor or an actress, whether you're a filmographer, whatever you are, there are laws in place to actually protect you and what is your intellectual property. But the bodies that and institutions that are meant to execute these laws and that are meant to make sure these laws are adhered to, or that are meant to punish the people who go against these laws, aren't necessarily fully functional in our part of the world. Because let's look at the fact that how many musicians in Nigeria get paid radio royalties?
Mm.
If we're being realistic, I can't help but wonder if clubs pay licensing royalties for playing certain music
Music's in the
within
club.
their institutions. There are just so many facets. These days, it is not even these days, forever, it's just normal for you to wake up and hear that somebody is using your song for adverts.
That's more reason why you see music artists drag politicians like,
You
why using
know,
my song for campaign?
You know, and I loved it when that actually started becoming a thing here, where artists and creatives started actually dragging individuals and brands to court when they would use their works or their likeness for advertisements, because you cannot use my creative fruits and my creative label to make money and you're not paying me anything. That's not fair. This is not even about being an Igbo man.
You just have to bring the money aspect.
But it's really
you just
not
have
fair.
to show it.
It's really not fair. So with Bimba Ademoye, I totally understand what she's talking about. Especially one thing you have to realize, that the industry has changed compared to 10 years ago when we were buying CDs. CDs were a huge part of the amount of money that filmmakers would make from a movie. Back then, the production houses who were in the know went to these guys in the East who would pirate it and just sold them the rights. Like, we will not make noise, just, buy it off. Give me 10 million or 50 million and then print and sell as many copies as you want. That's your business. It was unofficial, under the table deals, but that was a huge part. DVD sales were a huge part of revenue. But nowadays, all you have are your streaming sales, or if you're lucky, maybe you have cinema numbers also if you get to put your movie or your production on a cinema route. But for people who solely release straight to streaming platforms like YouTube, all they have is that. So it's really even more unfair. It is paying past now than before, because this is the only way they are making money from it, and then you are taking it away from them. So it's now a question of, it needs to be escalated to a point where governments start talking to governments, where we start having some sort of cross-border copyright law and cross-border conversations, where we know that, okay, yes, if you take it across border, it doesn't mean we can't come after you, or we should be able to work with whatever law-backed organization is in your society to be able to ensure that artists globally are at least treated right. Because it's a conversation that needs to be had. Look at how the ChatGPT guys are in court. They've been sued because they are using the creative works of other people to generate images and videos and music. And that's not legally correct. That's not right. That's not even morally acceptable. So we need to actually start challenging these things. We need to start calling it out. And we need to, at some point in time, get larger bodies and institutions and governments involved in these conversations and actually ready to make tangible, actionable moves.
But I think that creatives should also learn to trademark their properties.
Well, you want to tell me that's a Bimba Ademoye movie where you see produced by with everybody's name on it? How much more do you want to? Where you want trademark and pass? You will put your name. That's why you'll be hearing in a club. You hear you hear in the middle of a jam, you hear Spiroch beats, or you hear DJ this, because they downloaded someone else's mix to play. Or, it's all of that. Or you will hear somebody playing a soundtrack, an artist playing a soundtrack and performing, and then you hear produced by, or this beat was downloaded from. There are just there are so many levels to this. And so it goes beyond even sorry, excuse me. It goes beyond even trademarking or copyright, although that is an integral part of it. Thankfully, we have like the National Copyright Commission, we have the Music Society for Copyright and MCSN, or what are they called? There are so many bodies that help Nigerian creators and Nigerian artists these days at least get legal documentation for our works. But after that, a lot of these bodies aren't necessarily fully equipped to actually make sure that we are paid what we are meant to be paid. That what is meant to be for Caesar is being given to Caesar, and what is meant for everybody else is going right back to them. These institutions aren't fully functional in that regard, and I think that's what needs to start from there right now.
Okay, it's been a very wonderful conversation with you so far on this episode of the Fifth State Live.
Thank you.
So before we leave the studio, I want to
Okay.
ask you one very crazy question in my head.
Hey, God.
And it's on the flip side,
Okay.
right? It's on the flip side, but it's crazy.
Okay.
As an individual, I
Mhm.
hear you talk and gesticulate and all of it. So how do you deal? And this is with respect to the Nigerian community where effeminate guys are being dragged for being. So how do you deal with that stigma or that stereotype? Have you had an experience before, and how do you deal with it in your day-to-day activities?
I generally tend to not listen to rabble and rubbish. You have to. I feel like there are certain levels of existence that when you start playing in, you realize it's an insult to yourself to lower yourself into certain conversations. You have to be, and I know this is going to come off as classist, and I apologize because I'm really not that classist. But you have to be of a certain caliber and usefulness in my existence for your opinions to truly matter. And people will always talk. It's not even just about whether you're effeminate or soft-spoken. People have been dragged and insulted on the streets of Instagram and Twitter over the silliest things, over a misused word, over draping an arm over somebody, over a hug that was snapped from a different angle, over an outfit or a fit. So I tend to not even ignore. I think a lot of it doesn't just even get to within my actual notice. And this is not necessarily that I'm sheltered. It's just there's so much that is thrown at you once you're in the limelight. There's so much that is being said at you once you're in the limelight. And for your own peace of mind, you have to know what to engage with and what not to engage with.
True.
So in certain regard, I'm like, everyone's allowed to their own opinions and their own whatever. Oh, his voice is high-pitched. Oh, let me give you a story. And this happened like maybe a couple of weeks after I won Idols. This was years ago. I went into a store in Lagos to buy something. I think I needed to buy a new phone or something. And in the process of the conversation, this random sales girl who I wasn't even dealing with walks up to me and says, "Oh, God, it's when your voice be like woman." So, and I turned to her and I'm like, "Yeah, it's really light, right?" I said, "Yes." I'm like, "And he just got me $100,000. What has your husband's voice done for you?"
Ouch! My kidney.
See, nobody has ever been awesome by being normal. None of the people who have ever been worthy of attention or notice have been average Joes or have been just like everyone else.
True.
You have to stand out. You have to be unique. And it's not just, I mean, sometimes being different is useless. You know, sometimes you're just different in a very useless way. But you have to stand out and be unique for you to actually make a change and make a difference. If you do not go against the grain, you can't change the tide. And that's the fact of it. So, yeah, that's my general approach to people's opinions about like my texture, the texture of my voice or my mannerisms. Your opinion doesn't really mean that much to me, but thank you. It shocked you, ba?
It shocked me, God. It really shocked me. Like, you know, when Michael Jackson said speechless, that was just exactly. Because why are you telling someone your opinion don't count and you're saying thank you in the same breath?
Because I appreciate the effort you've put into it. You know, you saw me, you took your time out to think of, like, I filled your mind.
That you had to think and give an opinion.
You know, my existence was the focus of your whole mind. So I appreciate that level. You're a fan.
You know, it just reminds me of Harvey, the spoken word artist, when she did one of her pieces where she said, "To my village people, yourself, you don't try. Yourself, you don't try, gone.
I love Happy.
And for real, they don't try." So that's it on the Fifth Estate Live for this week. But before we leave the studio, don't forget to go on Akweya TV website and read very interesting stories. We have very interesting stories for you right there. Of course, we have our sister show, the Fifth Estate Show, and there's so much around NGOs and CSOs and their activities on that show, and you can always catch it on YouTube page, or also check it out on Facebook too. The Fifth Estate Show is made by Isumidia, and of course our lovely host Folusho. And this is a shout out to all my production crew. Thank you so much, guys. Until we'll come your way again next time, don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to our channel. Then, most importantly, click on the notification bell so you're notified whenever we make a post. And follow us on all our social media platforms. You can also check out Mr. Moses Obi on Instagram at
Moses Obi.
Yeah. And of course, before we forget, Mr. Moses is creating an entertainment event.
Oh, we have a photo exhibition with the Photographer Photography Studio that is going to be on the 3rd of May at the Photographer Studios in Mabushi Market. If you're in Abuja, come through. We are going to be showcasing some brilliant pictures by some very talented photographers, and we also have a couple of entertainers who are going to be on ground performing. So please come through. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook, follow me if you see me on the road.
And Billy too. And again, don't forget to watch our Christopherian Jam session. Trust me, if you're a lover of gospel, different genres of gospel music, you will love this. It's basically reggae gospel. Till come your way again next time, do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.